Did you know Joe Exotic or any of them before you guys ever filmed? Like, did you actually know them even long before this series?
Oh yeah, I've known about them, and I've been their worst enemy because I'm the person who has been pointing out to the public and to the authorities the kinds of things that they do. And I started a website at 911 Animal Abuse. And the reason that I did that is so many people would say, I went to the zoo and it was this horrible place and I don't know who I should call. And so we would help them contact the authorities and help them write up their complaints, because people, they don't know what's legal and what's not legal. And unfortunately, most of the things that they were appalled at were not illegal. And you don't want to waste time, having somebody make a complaint on things that can't be dealt with. So we would do that, and then we would post the information on a web page for that individual. Well, what I found was in 2009, this actually started in 2004 with Joe Exotic, but I didn't realize who he was until 2009 when I realized that 21 of these bad actors that I was chasing all over the place that were going from mall to mall, taking these cubs out, they'd set up on Wednesday, tear down on Sunday, and then they'd be at the next mall the next Wednesday. And these poor cubs were kept on the road until they either died from the mishandling or they reached 16 weeks and could hurt somebody, and then they'd trade them out for new cubs. Anyway, I found 21 of these people. They were all Joe. And so I went to my husband and I was like, you're never going to believe this. These all 21 of these are the same guy using different names so that his citations and such wouldn't follow him. And so I put them all on a single page and said, this is all Joe Schreibvogel and all these different names. Well, that really made him mad. And so that's when he started trash talking me every night on his show. And he managed to get a hold of a diary that had been stolen from me by a former volunteer from back in the 90s. And he'd half read and half make up the diary as he went through. And every night he was telling people, she's coming for your pets. She's going to take away your dogs and cats and gerbils. And you've got to do something to silence her. You've got to stop her. You've got to break her leg. You've got to rape her. You've got to kill her. And he did that for years. I mean, like nightly, this was his tirade trying to get somebody to kill me. And then in 2015, a woman contacted me and said that he had tried to hire her husband, who had been a sharpshooter in the military, to kill me. And then and I turned that over to the authorities. They did nothing. Another woman contacted me and said that he had tried to pay her to kill me. Turned that over to the authorities and they did nothing. Third person came in, said the same thing. Still, the authorities did nothing. I tried to get a restraining order against the guy because he was like coming here and hanging out around the sanctuary and shooting holes and stuff and just scaring us half to death. Couldn't get a restraining order against him. And so he ended up using our name to go out to these malls. And he said, the reason that I'm using your name and our logo, it was very, very close to our logo, was so that when you criticize me, people will think it's Big Cat Rescue and you're going to ruin your reputation all by yourself. And so we captured that Facebook screenshot that showed that this was intentional. And we got $1 million judgment against him. And I think he thought he could just go down and file for bankruptcy and get out from under it. But the bankruptcy court wouldn't let him. And so we've been chasing him all these years through the bankruptcy courts. But despite all of that, I've still never spoken to him. I've seen him, I think, 5 times. 4 of them were in, like in courtrooms. And then one of them was at a hearing in Ohio after that guy had turned loose 56 tigers and bears and other dangerous animals and then committed suicide. I had gone there to testify for a state law against having these animals in backyards and basements. And he had gone there in favor of people having them that way. So I had seen him there and didn't speak to him, but I saw him there.